Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful flower coaster. And here you can fold it up into a mini bouquet. Look how cute it is. And even better than that, you can make a cute little flower basket and store them inside. And what you can do is you can take them out like this in the morning when you have a warm cup of coffee, and they're just absolutely delightful.
Thank you so much for that lovely voiceover. For the materials, you will need medium weight for cotton yarn. I'm using white for the base, pink for the tulips, and green for the leaves. You'll also need a 4mm crochet hook, a yarn needle, a pair of scissors, and you can use any scraps of yarn to make the basket. I'll be using this leftover cream colored yarn and a dark brown. To begin this project, we're going to use the white yarn for the base of the coaster, and we're going to start by making a magic ring. To make a magic ring, we're going to hold down a tail of yarn with our thumb, leaving a good amount of yarn below the thumb, like this. We'll take the yarn and wrap it around 2 fingers. Then turn your fingers over to create an X. Grab your crochet hook. Insert the crochet hook underneath the bottom strand of yarn and bring it over and grab the top strand, pull that underneath and turn your hook upwards. Then we'll insert our crochet hook underneath the strand of the yarn that's in the back, and we're going to scoop that up and turn our hook and bring it through the loop on the hook. We'll remove our fingers, and this is the magic ring. To start the first round, we're going to chain 2. To chain, we'll yarn over and pull the loop through our hook. Yarn over, pull through the loop on the hook. After chaining 2, we're going to work 12 double crochets inside of this ring. So in this large circle, we're going to do a double crochet, yarn over, insert the crochet hook into the hole, pull up a loop through that hole. You should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops remaining, yarn over, and pull through the remaining loops. That's the first one. And I'm going to repeat a double crochet inside of this magic ring until I reach 12 double crochets. After 12 double crochets, we're going to close up the hole in the middle. Take the tail of yarn from the beginning of the project and tug on that to close the hole. At the end of round 1, you should have 12 stitches, and we're going to slip stitch to the very first double crochet that we made. So skip over that chain 2 that we made in the beginning and insert your crochet hook into the top of that first double crochet stitch, and we're going to slip stitch to close the round. To start round 2, chain 2. In this round, we're going to do an increase in every single stitch. An increase means putting 2 double crochets in one stitch. So we'll go back in that same stitch just under the chain 2, and we'll insert our first double crochet, yarn over and insert the crochet hook, picking up that V, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's the first double crochet, and we're going to work a second double crochet in the same stitch. So we'll insert our crochet hook back in that same hole. We'll pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. This completes our first increase, and we're going to repeat the same pattern in the next stitch. So we'll do 2 double crochets in this stitch. That's the first double crochet. Here's the second double crochet. Repeat the pattern of 2 double crochets in every stitch until the end of the round. At the end of the round, you should have 24 stitches, and we're going to close the round by slip stitching into the first double crochet. So we'll skip over that chain 2 from the beginning, and we'll insert our crochet hook in this stitch right here. Insert the hook, yarn over and pull the loop through the loop on the hook. To start round 3, we're going to chain 2. And for this round, we're going to be doing an increase in every second stitch. So that means the first stitch is going to have only 1 double crochet. So yarn over, insert the crochet hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. And in the next stitch, we're going to do an increase. So in this next stitch, we'll do 2 double crochets. I'll insert the first double crochet, and back in the same stitch, we'll do a second double crochet. So I've done a double crochet, an increase, and in the third stitch, I'm going to do a regular double crochet, followed by an increase. We'll repeat the pattern of 1 double crochet followed by an increase in every stitch until the end of the round. At the end of round 3, you should have a total of 36 stitches, and we can slip stitch to the very first stitch to close the round off. In round 4, I'm going to do one more round of increases to make the coaster a little bigger, but if this size is good for you, you can skip this round and go directly to round 5. To start round 4, we will chain 2. In this round, we will do an increase in every third stitch. So in the first 2 stitches, we will do 1 double crochet, and in the third stitch, we will do 2 double crochets. And we're going to repeat this all the way around the circle. So I'll start by inserting a double crochet in the first stitch. a double crochet in the second stitch. In the third stitch, I will do an increase. So insert 2 double crochets in the third stitch. Repeat the pattern of 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and 2 double crochets all the way around. At the end of round 4, we should have a total of 48 stitches. Slip stitch to the first stitch of the round. We're going to fasten off the base of the coaster, so grab your scissors and snip off the yarn. Then pull the yarn through with your hook. We finished the base of the coaster, and now we're going to work on adding leaves around this. To add the leaves, we will attach our green yarn. So taking your green yarn, we're going to make a slip knot. To create the slip knot, take a tail of yarn and wrap it around 2 fingers and turn it over to create an X. Grab your crochet hook and insert it under the bottom strand and pull the top strand underneath. Then let go and pull up to tighten. After we make the slip knot, we're going to take the loop off the hook, and I'll insert my finger inside the loop, keeping it loose. And taking the base of our coaster, we're going to attach the green yarn to where we fastened off. So I'll insert my hook under that stitch, right where I fastened off, and I'm going to place the loop back on the hook, then pull this strand of yarn to tighten. Then we'll pull this loop through the stitch until it comes out to the front. Here's what it looks like. And we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to work a double crochet in the same stitch that we attached our yarn to. So we'll first yarn over and go back into the same stitch and work 1 double crochet. So it creates this upside down triangle, and we're going to skip the next 2 stitches. So I'll skip the first one and the second one, and in that third stitch we're going to work another double crochet. So this is the stitch we're going to do our next double crochet in. Yarn over, insert the crochet hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. After double crocheting, you can see it creates another triangle, and we'll chain 2. And back in the same stitch that we just did our double crochet in, we're going to work another double crochet. This is the pattern that we're going to repeat for this round. So after we did that last double crochet, we're going to skip 2 stitches in between. So I'll skip this first one and the second one, and in the third stitch I will work a double crochet, chain 2, and back in the same stitch we'll work another double crochet, skip 2 stitches and work a double crochet, chain 2, and a double crochet in the same stitch. And we'll repeat this pattern all the way around the base of the coaster. At the end of the round, you should have 2 stitches remaining. So we're going to skip over those last 2 stitches and slip stitch to the very first triangle that we made. If we look at the bottom right where we attached the yarn, we're going to count up to the 3rd chain from the bottom. So this will be our first chain, this is the 2nd chain, and that's the 3rd chain. So in that 3rd chain, we're going to do our slip stitch. Insert the crochet hook into that 3rd chain. Yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. We finished with the green leaves portion of the coaster, and now we will fasten off. Grab your scissors, snip off the yarn the same length we did for the base of the coaster, chain one, and pull the yarn through with the hook. For the last part of the coaster, we're going to attach the pink yarn to make the tulips. So to do this, I'm going to make a slip knot the way I did to connect the green yarn. We'll take the slip knot off the hook and onto our finger. And I'm going to attach the pink yarn right into the space where I fastened off. So right where I fastened off, you can see there's a right side up triangle, and I'm going to insert my hook through that space, place the loop back on the hook and tighten it, pull it through the space until we see it in the front, then chain one. In the same space, we're going to work a single crochet. So we'll take our crochet hook, insert it in the same space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. That's our single crochet stitch, and next we're going to chain two. We're going to work 5 double crochets in the next space over. So if we look at the next space, we can see that it's an upside down triangle, and we're going to insert our crochet hook into that space. So first we will yarn over, insert the hook into the upside down triangle, pull up a loop, pull through two, pull through two. So that's my first double crochet, and I'm going to work 4 more double crochets in that space. Now we have 5 double crochets in this space, and we're going to pull up the loop that's on our hook. So I'm going to just tug that upwards. When you create a space, we'll insert our finger into that hole and remove the crochet hook. Then we're going to go over to the very first double crochet we made, which is right here. And we're going to insert our crochet hook into that stitch, like this. And we're also going to go through the loop that's on our finger. So insert your crochet hook into that loop, remove your finger, and tighten the loop around the hook. Then we're going to pull this loop on our hook through the stitch. So pull that loop through this stitch, just like that. And what we made here is called a popcorn stitch, and it creates this really pretty 3D tulip. After we make that stitch, we will chain 2. And we're going to move on to the next space. And the next space is a right side up triangle. And inside of that triangle, we're going to work a single crochet. So insert your crochet hook into that triangle. Pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. After we make the single crochet, we will chain 2. And the next space should be an upside down triangle, and we're going to work the same pattern of 5 double crochets into that upside down triangle. We have our 5 double crochets, and again we're going to pull up the loop on our hook, insert our finger into that loop. Then in the first double crochet stitch, we will insert our crochet hook. So right here, insert the crochet hook through the big loop that's on our finger. Remove our finger and tighten that loop. We're going to pull this loop through the first stitch that's on our hook. Here's what my second tulip looks like. and we can chain 2. We'll continue to repeat this pattern around the coaster. So in the right side up triangle, we'll do a single crochet, chain 2, then in the next space, which is an upside down triangle, we'll work 5 double crochets. After 5 double crochets, pull up the loop on the hook and slip that onto your finger. Insert the crochet hook in the first double crochet stitch. Insert the hook through that loop, tighten it around the hook, and then pull that loop through the stitch. Then chain 2, single crochet in the next triangle, chain 2, and we'll repeat this pattern to make the tulips all the way around the coaster. At the end of the round, I have one upside down triangle remaining, so I'll work my last tulip into that triangle. Once you finish the last tulip, chain 2, and we're going to close off the round by slip stitching into the first single crochet stitch that we made in the beginning of the round. So the single crochet stitch is right here, so I'll slip that under, making sure I pick up that V like this, pull that loop through to slip stitch. We finished making the flower coaster, and these tulips look really beautiful around the border, and now all we have to do is fasten off. Take your scissors and snip off the yarn. Chain 1 and pull the yarn through to fasten off. The last thing to do for our coaster is weave in the loose ends, so I'll turn it over and grab the center yarn, which is this white yarn, and I'm going to thread it through the yarn needle. And we're going to work this in the white stitches to hide the loose end. So just go under any loops with your yarn needle. So I'll insert right here in the center. And I'm just picking up a few loops here and going in this direction. And you want to flip over your coaster to make sure that it's not showing through on the other side. So that looks good. And I'll just pull this strand through those stitches. And we can keep going in a different direction. So I'm working towards the left under these loops and going as far as I can, making sure that the needle isn't poking through on the other side. After we finish hiding that strand, we can trim off the rest of the loose end. So just cut it off close. And we're going to do the same thing with the rest of our loose ends. So I'll pick up the green one next, and I'm just going to go through these pink loops here. And I'm slipping it through these next two pink ones and pulling that through. going to hide it in these last 5 pink loops, or 7. Pull that through, and I think this is a good place to cut off the yarn. For the other white strand, I'm going to repeat what I've been doing and weave it through a few loops at the top, like this. And I'll pull that through. And I think that's a good place to trim off the yarn. So now I'll take my scissors and trim that off. The last few strands I have are pink, and just like we did with the green, I'm going to hide it inside of these pink loops. And here's the final coaster. You can choose to leave it like this, or you can roll it up into a cute bouquet, and I'll show you how to do that. So taking a strand of yarn, it can be any color. I'm choosing pink. This is what we're going to use to wrap up the bouquet. So I'm just going to snip off around this much, and we'll place that to the side first. With the right side facing up, we're going to fold it in half. So this is the right side. And I'm going to just fold this in half along the magic ring. And when you fold it, it should look like a taco. And there's a few ways you can make this into a bouquet. The first way, you can fold it in half again and fold it one more time, but I feel that this looks a little too bunched up. So the second way, which is the way I prefer, is to start rolling it up from one end to the other. So I'll start from this right end, and I'm going to slowly roll this up. And it's forming like a cone shape. And after you fold it, just want to hold that so that it doesn't come apart. And taking the strand that we cut off, we're going to tie this around the bouquet. So just wrap it the best that you can. I'm going to place it down on the table. Hold that down. Just wrap this around the bouquet like this. After you wrap it, you can tie a knot. And I'm going to add a little bow, so I'll just tie it like this to create a bow. After you make the bow, this is what it should look like. I really think this mini bouquet is just the perfect gift to give to someone, and it also acts as a coaster, which is pretty cool. If you're looking to turn the coasters into a flower basket, here's how to do that. We'll start by making a magic ring. And this is the same thing we did to make the base of the coaster. If you want to follow along those steps, then you can refer to the beginning of the video. For round 1, we will chain 2. Insert 12 double crochets inside of the magic ring. At the end of the round, you should have 12 stitches, and we're going to slip stitch into the first double crochet that we made. To start round 2, chain 2. We're going to do an increase in each stitch all the way around. So insert 2 double crochets in each stitch. At the end of round 2, you should have 24 stitches, and we're going to slip stitch to the first stitch of the round. To start round 3, we will chain 2, and we're going to work 1 double crochet followed by an increase in every stitch. So in this first stitch, I'm going to work a double crochet, and the second stitch will be an increase. So we'll repeat this pattern of 1 double crochet followed by an increase until the end of the round. At the end of round 3, you should have 36 stitches, and we're going to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet stitch we made. For the next 3 rounds, we're going to chain 2 and work a double crochet in every stitch all the way around. So we're no longer going to be increasing for the basket, and we're just going to work 3 rounds of double crochets. So at the end of round 4, chain 2 and repeat for round 5. And at the end of round 5, chain 2 and repeat 1 more round of double crochets. I did end up running out of this nice cream colored yarn, so I'm going to attach some brown yarn to finish the basket. I finished 3 rounds of double crochets and I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the first stitch, and now we can fasten off. And the last part of the basket is to just weave in the loose ends. And at the end, you have this really cute little flower basket. This basket can fit 2 coasters, so I went ahead and made a second coaster, and I'm just going to put these in the middle. So I'll stack them on top of each other like this and stuff that in there, and this will help to make it look a little fuller. So you just try your best to get the coasters in there. And you can scrunch it up to make it look like a lot of flowers are coming out of the pot. Here's how it looks. This is the cutest thing ever, and you can place it down on your desk or wherever you want it, and you can just pull it out of the basket whenever you want to have a drink. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy crocheting!